Hi guys. Well, I've got problems with my Jacobs Rubberplex choke, and I've started stripping it down to see what the problem is. The trouble that I've had is once I've installed the collets in the nose and install the work, when I come to tighten the hand wheel round, it's been going so far, but once it's fully tightened, there's a pin that locates into these holes, and I've not been able to tighten it up sufficient for the locking pin to drop into those holes, which then fully locks it into position. So I've made a start stripping it down, and I've got to this stage. I've taken there's 30 quarter-inch ball bearings that go through this hole that form the bearing for it. So, and then there's a plug on the top. So I've taken those out. I'll take the ball bearings out, so this piece now comes off. And what I found was there's a keyway cut there, and that's the only piece of the key that was left. Now this takes quite a lot of pressure as you're tightening the hand wheel up. That pin locates on a keyway that's machined into the nose, so that is what actually tightens the collets up. So that takes quite a lot of quite a big beating every time you tighten up, and as I say, that's the only piece that was left in. So there's a tiny little chamfered grub screw in there that holds the keyway in position. It's just machined down just below the surface of this, so that needs to come out. Must keep that safe, I don't want to be losing that. Well, I've been looking around the shop for a suitable piece to make a new key, and came up with this piece first of all, piece of HSS, and that's slightly too big. I was thinking I could grind that down, and then I found this piece which seems to be ideal size. That's the keyway slot. Just make that out there, just about, and that's the correct size. So I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to mount this on my surface grinder on the grinding vise. There's a round ground onto both ends, but then looking at this, you can see the slight mark. Instead of the keyway just being the length of the keyway cut, the hole that's machined out, I believe originally it went up to the top of this section. There's a slight mark there where you can see it. I know when I first got the choke, that piece had already broken off, and there's a hole drilled into the nose, so that allows you to line the keyway up before you start to try and tighten the hand wheel. So looking at it, it looks as though that piece needs to be the length from the bottom past the top of the keyway up to this section, and then this top piece is ground out to allow the key to fully sit in the keyway. So that's the piece I've got, guys. I'm going to mount that on my surface grinder first and grind the bottom radius out and take a measurement overall, cut that down to size, and then try and come up with some way of taking that excess off. Well, that's what I'm up to at the moment, guys. Don't know if you can make that out, but it looks like I've got a bit more grinding to do. It fits nicely now into that keyway slot. That's the original width that this piece was. That fits nicely into the nose cone. But looking at what's left of the original key, it looks like the section that goes into the keyway slot in the nose is slightly narrower. It won't quite fit into there yet, so it looks as though I'm going to have to take a very small amount off both sides on the bottom edge, but I don't think it's far off now. And then for that little chamfered set screw to sit in, I'll have to grind some of this centre piece out at an angle, but we're not far off.